All righty, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Crisis Report. Super glad to have you. It is July 20th, technically, but this is intel from July 18th into the 19th, 2025. And we are going to do it because, well, we can't go, too much longer without a little bit of intel. So right now, the notification monkeys are going out and telling all the people to come on over to the Crisis Report, because Lord knows they do such a wonderful job of telling everybody about it. Should get good numbers here on YouTube. It's been a day and a half, so I've got no real views on the counter, so time for them to allow me to re-up, if you will. Hello. Unnotified. Well, crazy. You'll watch. The things will be good here tonight. Why? Because, well, we'll discuss this after. So, what is this one going on? What do we got going on tonight, right? Again, I apologize. For kind of being on here a little bit later. We had a little bit of a birthday celebration. It is my son's 7th birthday. So, as we stay here, I know people are like, hey, I wish you'd just tell me a time and all that. And you know what, folks? I got to go when I can go. And when I can go is when I don't have my family around me. And that's pretty much most hours of the day. So when they're all in bed, tucked nicely away, secure in their prepping household here, I come online and I take all the little things I've been doing in between, little moments of happiness here in the farmette, whatever you want to call it, homestead, and we do it. So, Prepper Girl, I got to get you modding over here too. You should be good to go over on PrepperNow. So, yeah, thanks. I got some new mods and stuff. People get busy and everything. I needed some new, fresh folks. So this one is entitled Bedouin versus Druze proxies. There is all kinds of stuff going on there. And Lord knows the mainstream media has just been doing a bang-up job letting all of you know about all the crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of things that are, how do I put it? Some things are real. Some things are not. That's why here on this channel, I give you everything. I go to both sides. There's things I read that I might not like to read, but I think you need to hear it all. And so I think the best way to get a fully formed picture is to report everything. And so that's what I do. And some of the things we do here, people like. Some of the things we do here, people, some of the things we read. And I do read stuff here. I basically go out and I go to multiple channels on Telegram. I am starting to transfer things over to another channel. You might be seeing it somewhere. I don't know where that could be. The reason why is because this platform is doing a bang up job of trying to hinder and do everything it can to stop, honestly, prepper channels. I had a good conversation with Magic Prepper the other day. He's saying he's considering stopping his live streams because it's good news is, though, as you're seeing here on this Substack, there are other platforms that are going to come and replace it. My Substack almost has 500 people here. They're now able to do video, and a lot of us that believe that you should be able to freely hear and speak, they're going to start to go away. They're going to go everywhere, and this little platform here will be left to its whatever the heck you want to call it. And, other things will rise up. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to switch things up and add more venues. I guess that's the best way to do it. So if you have not been over to Rumble, I've been starting to do videos there almost daily. I was going up, and then this weekend happened. And it's a birthday weekend, okay? Again, my family comes first. So I put things down and I hang out with my son. Also, we're going to start doing the video for the Oops Mega 1, which should be coming out on hopefully tomorrow night if I get the editing done, if not Monday. And that's good because the 23rd and 24th, they're doing a special. And I will have an affiliate place, thing. So speaking of sponsorship, we're also sponsored by Augusta Precious Metals. And if you would like to explore a gold or silver IRA, it is a wonderful place to do so. They are highly, highly rated. And they do things a little bit different than some of the other companies. They do it better, honestly. It's why the ratings are so high. You can find that affiliate page and link in the description. It's already there right now. And, I'd say right now with everything going on, it'd probably be a wise idea for you to check out ways to protect yourself, whatever that may be. That's what we do here on the Crisis Report. We give you all of the information so you can see what's going on. And we got some interesting stuff tonight. So things like Warren Buffett selling a bunch of his shares. So, all right, friends, let's get started here on the Crisis Report. 6 minutes in. Hit that like button, do the subscribe thing, and try to join us again here on YouTube. All right, here we go. So who are the Druze? Let's go. You guys are the AP class. I don't care about views anymore, and Lord knows what they do. This channel is for smart people. This channel isn't for idiots. This isn't channels that their mouths agape as they go through the 47th short in a row as you watch a person take the rust off of an old axe or something. No, this is for the intelligent people that actually care about what goes around them on their world. And you're probably, as you sit here and discuss things, you're probably like, who are the Druze? I know what a Bedouin is. There's a vague and, a little bit of an understanding out there. The Druze are a little bit different. So let's give you an explanation of who they are. They're a small Middle Eastern religious sect known as Muwahhadin or Muwahhadun, or Unitarians. They have over 1 million members, primarily in Lebanon, Syria, and Israel, originating in Egypt as an offshoot of Ismailism in the 11th century. Druze faith emerged when theologians proclaimed the Fatimid Caliph El-Hakim as divine, leading to conflict and persecution. The movement, named after al-Darazi, despite his excommunication, survived in Syria and Lebanon under leaders like Hamza and al-Muqtaneh. The Druze maintain a close-knit identity, prohibit conversion, discourage interfaith marriage, and keep many religious practices secret, with only an elite group, the Ukel, accessing their sacred teachings. So that's it. Someone said, oh, they're Christian, oh, they're Muslim. No, they are their own thing. Now, they've got a lot of things that are taken from both faiths, but they are their own thing. So that is a full-on explanation of it. Here we go. Syrian government's security forces begin to deploy in the Suwaida province. Suwaida province is where this is, and then al-Suwaida is the city where all the crap has been going down. There's been a lot of BS. We announce an immediate nationwide ceasefire in Suwaida and urge full compliance. Now, this, of course, is, the Syrian higher-ups and stuff. Yeah, Syrian presidency, the military and all that. They're trying to get a hold of this. They keep saying they're going to do a ceasefire. There's no ceasefire going on. Things are actually kind of devolving. And as this title says, proxies, there's a reason for that. These are proxies. This is a proxy war that is starting to evolve between Syria and the state of Israel. And that's why it freaking matters, because this could reshape the physical look of the Middle East. So it's really important. So from there, we'll just have to see. Zelensky, Russia, targeted Ukraine with more than 300 drones and 30 missiles, and the attacks are still ongoing. Trump, losing the dollar as the reserve currency would be like losing a world war. That's why I hit bricks hard. If they form, it won't last. And trust me, if the reserve currency gets taken, the guarantor of that, the American military, will immediately start to go to action. Japan warns firms, you're on your own in Taiwan if China invades. Japanese officials have told companies operating in Taiwan they shouldn't expect help evacuating staff in China attacks, citing constitutional limits and lack of diplomatic ties with Taipei. Stark message has cooled Japanese investment in Taiwan, long one of its top foreign direct investments, or FDI, sources. There's no government in Taiwan from our viewpoint, said one official, referencing Japan's recognition of Beijing. Without host government approval, Japan's self-defense forces can't legally operate overseas, and Beijing wouldn't grant it. So Japan's got a big thing going on today. They're actually in elections, if I remember correctly, pretty sure about that. And we're going to see what happens with their diet, as it is called. Again, we do intelligence here. We don't do mouth-gaping idiocy. Israeli media reports yet another security incident in Khan Yunis. Hamas, whole thing in Gaza and everything, still going on, still terrible. So a video of people sifting through sand and flour because they couldn't eat otherwise. There's a lot of crappy stuff going on. Qatar's foreign minister, Al Khalifa, signing of the agreement is a significant step in the peace efforts in Congo. Declaration of principles marks a new phase of partnership amongst all components of Congo. Declaration of principles envisions a permanent cessation of violence and attacks in the Congo. Israel-backed al-Hijri defies U.S. Jordan Gulf Turkey-backed deal, rejects entry of public security into Soweto, calls for expulsion of Bedouin tribes, violating the core of this agreement, undermines President al-Shaddad's stated non-displacement policy. Basically what's going on, folks, is the Bedouins are fighting against the Druze in a little mini civil war. And it's starting to get really, really violent with a lot of terrible things, like people hanging from bridges and stuff like that. Saudi Arabia told the U.S. it supports Syrian forces deploying to the southern province of Soweto despite Israeli opposition. Saudi foreign minister reportedly conveyed the message to United States Secretary of State Rubio, saying the kingdom backed Syria's right to assert control over Soweto after recent sectarian violence. Germany will deliver a Patriot air defense system to Ukraine within 6 to 8 months. System originally earmarked for Switzerland is being reprioritized for Ukraine, with Germany covering the cost. The unit is still being finalized by Raytheon. Speed up process to Germany may send a Patriot from its own military stock, though replacing it could take years. We are not producing like the Russians. They're producing quickly. We are not in the West. Militias affiliated with Israeli agent Hikmat al-Hajri, he's a militia guy, continue to clash with Bedouin tribes in the city. At least 20 people have been injured after a car plowed into a crowd in Los Angeles. Up to 5 people are in critical condition. Another lovely, lovely day in American cities. Hold on real quick. China launches controversial 167 billion mega dam in Tibet. China's begun construction massive dam project, Tibet's Yarlung Sangpo River. Planned investment 1.2 trillion yuan, or 160 billion plus American. State media reported. Project, led by the newly formed China Yizhang Group, will consist of 5 cascade dams in Yangtze, southeastern Tibet. Most of the electricity will be transmitted out of the region, though some will serve local needs. Now, that's the nice version of it. I'm going to tell you the nasty version here coming up. Could lead to a little bit of problems between a few countries. Some of them are nuclear. Fire broke out. Refining facilities, the city of Abadan, southwest of Iran. Authorities say that the fire is currently under control. Syrian internal security forces begin deployment inside Soweto. Spokesperson for the Ministry of Interior to Syrian TV. Agreement stipulates the full return of the state institutions in the province. More than 30 people have been killed after Israeli troops opened fire towards crowds of Palestinians awaiting aid. They were killed near distribution hubs operated by the U.S. Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Probably that video I saw of the people sifting literally through sand and flour because what they received had been kind of distributed in a very chaotic and almost explosive way. It's pretty terrible to see some of this stuff. Seen a lot of bad images lately, folks. A lot of bad images out of the Middle East. I'm going to be honest with you. So I take this stuff seriously. You know, I come here and I joke a little bit, but there's a lot of really nasty crap going on. Druze Sheikh demands annexation of Soweto to Israel. Oh, that's right. Remember my video called Israel's About to Get Larger? That's really what this is about. We'll keep going. United States Secretary of State Rubio announced the U.S. is revoking the visa of a Brazilian Supreme Court judge who oversaw the prosecution of former President Jair Bolsonaro. Brazilian President Lula, U.S. interference in the internal affairs of other states is unacceptable as it harms their sovereignty. Commander, Syrian internal security forces in Soweto. We ask the tribes to withdraw from the front lines and let the state bear its responsibilities. Syrian Minister of Information and Emergency Committee has been formed from government agencies to deliver medical aid and provide basic services. Zelensky conversation with the Russian side regarding exchanges is ongoing, with continuing to fulfill the agreements of the last meeting in Istanbul. Team is currently working on another exchange. That thing is fully going on in the background. I've got some interesting information coming up at the end of this. There's been a lot of advances, like more than we've seen the entire time this SMO has been going. Israeli Defense Minister Katz says, we don't trust Jelani. Groups attacking Druze today will target Israel tomorrow. 2,000 Druze serving in the Israeli army and security forces say they're ready to fight alongside Soweto's Druze in Syria. What's that? An expanding war? Uh-huh. Syrian health minister announced that 301 people were dispatched and 1,971 were injured in clashes in Soweto. Israel is pushing for new waves of immigrants from Gaza, according to Axios. Israel's Mossad director visited D.C. this week to seek U.S. help in convincing countries to accept hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from Gaza. Axios reports America has been talking to the king of Eswatini. He used to be called Swaziland, little tiny country, southeastern portion of Africa. And he's taking a bunch of people. So now you've got countries all over that are accepting new neighbors. If you are shipped to Eswatini, or Mabane, I believe is the name of the capital, you're going to have a bad day. It's not a great place. President's super rich, though. I just bought 120 BMWs, if I remember what I read a couple days ago. President Trump sued the Wall Street Journal and its owner, Rupert Murdoch, over the report he had sent birthday message to Jeffrey Epstein with a 9th grade drawing of boobies. Rupert Murdoch is an Australian-American businessman who owns News Corp, parent company of Fox News, Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, Sun, Times, Daily Telegraph, Barron, Sky News Australia, and more. His sons kind of run it, and basically the liberal bent has happened from his son, I believe, Lachlan. His wife is like super liberal. Like, and by the way, sorry, that's the wrong term. When I say liberal, I'm thinking John Locke. I'm not thinking her. I'm thinking progressive fascist. Yeah. Her name's Catherine Murdoch from Australia. Iran has found another Mossad safe house where its agents were manufacturing kamikaze drones. Oh, don't you worry. Don't you worry. Iran v. Israel is in the bullpen getting ready. Trump plans to charge a new $250 visa fee for travelers who want to visit the United States, according to CNBC. This is according to a provision of the Trump administration's recently enacted One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Saudi Prince Al-Walid, known as the Sleeping Prince, has died after 20 years in a coma. President Trump says if there was a smoking gun linking him to Epstein, Democrats would have exposed it by now, and claims they have nothing. So that whole thing is basically what they're claiming now. I've covered both sides. Everybody else is covering it. I'm going to move on to important stuff. Yes, if they did nasty things, they should go to jail, and they should be, yeah, terrible things should happen to them. Trump administration has rejected U.S. participation in the World Health Organization's Rona response measures, starting the America will not comply. Thank you very much. One of the Wall Street Journal reporters behind the story of Epstein, this guy is saying that it's fake, has locked her ex account. Not really a good sign. Zhang Shanshan, one of China's wealthiest individuals, has purchased $67 million worth of land in New Hampshire. Hey, wonderful. Paying 4 times its assessed value. I wonder why. Property is directly connected to the state's water supply. I'm sure everything's just fine. Hey, Microsoft, how's that whole DoD information thing you've got under the steed of China going on? Sure, it's just wonderful. Declassified documents released by Director Tulsi Gabbard reveal that Barack Obama and his administration allegedly committed treason and attempted to orchestrate a coup against President. No. I mean, I totally believed all that stuff. I did. Yeah. It's not like, oh, whatever. There's sarcasm and then just at least such a funky taste in your mouth. You can't even just like joke about it. I did a video over on the secret channel, the GIC, if you know, SUBSTACK, and kind of covered everything that's going on. It's an interesting story. I don't know if it'll go anywhere. When these things come out, they're always like, yeah, we're going to get them. And then like nothing happens. So I won't hold my breath. I don't know. But if we can move along and move away from like the, how do I put it? Just go back to the way the politics were in the 1980s. Remember you had Democrats and Republicans, and they'd sit there and they'd say, oh, their plan for the economy is crap and our plan for education is better. And they talked about like actual platform things. And then when whoever lost in a fair election would come out and say, you know what, I concede, and let's make the country great. I hope they do a good job. And everybody's like nice, and then they go back and they have challenges and things on the hill, but they're all hanging out with each other. And yes, it's two wings of the same bird, but you get the point. Like now it's like cutthroat, all no holes barred kind of crap, and it's ruining things. Power shouldn't be had by any means possible. Got it, Barack? Tulsi Gabbard calling for Barack Obama and all officials involved in an attempted coup against Trump to be prosecuted. Attorney General Pam Bondi has formally submitted a court motion to unseal the grand jury testimony related to Jeffrey Epstein. Go and check the chat. How are we doing? Server error 404. Yep, there we are. All right, good to see you guys. Cool. Good. The sharing chicken. I like it. Good stuff. Good. Keep going, chat. You're doing great. Yeah, Pam Bondi formally submitted a court motion to unseal the grand jury of Jeff. Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed that during the Joe administration, the United States military was operating on a cloud service based in China. Covered that over on PrepperNow. Epstein grand jury transcripts filed by AG Pam Bondi will be heavily redacted, won't name witnesses who mentioned co-conspirators, and will keep the 2007 immunity deal sealed. So it's going to be paper with a bunch of black lines on it. DNI Tulsi Gabbard has sent declassified documents in a referral to DOJ, urging a criminal probe of Brennan, Clapper, and Comey for allegedly fabricating Putin-Trump intel using Clinton's dossier. Steele dossier, if you remember it. President Trump says, even if the judge grants his request to unseal the Epstein grand jury files, it still won't satisfy the troublemakers and radical left lunatics demanding them. FDA Commissioner Marty Makary, hey, Macarena, I always want to say that when I see it, read his name, revealed that under the Biden administration, the FDA approved gene therapy treatments that involved editing certain things performed in labs over there in a large Asian nation What could go wrong? And this one is our latest. And I used to do these all the time, and then things got taken over by the Middle East. We're going to get back because I got a feeling that the whole eastern flank of Europe is going to start to flare up again. Basically, already is. New catastrophe approaches West floods Ukraine with arms. Military summary and analysis, and that is for a couple days ago. But it gives kind of what's going on. This is from a Russian channel, and they just do a good job of telling you everything going on. But in the SMO, last night, very active parties exchanged major drone strikes, significant damage inflicted on Pavlorod and Shutska, as well as Odessa. During the night, Ukrainians continue their drone offensive, attempts to hit Moscow with drones. Situation on front lines is deteriorating for Ukrainian side. Only in one part of Sumy front they have initiative, while everywhere else they're on full defensive. Pokrovsk mystery is unfolding little by little. Soon we'll get a full picture about situation around Pokrovsk, Milnorad, Novoekmichny, as well as Rodinsky, Belitsky, Dobropilya area. Intense artillery preparation is underway on entire Seversk front. Russians are shelling approaches to Seversk for a week now. Volchansk defense continues to sink, especially western part where Russian recently crossed the river and established themselves in an industrial zone. Long story short, with a bunch of Russian names I probably butchered, Russia is advancing more so than they ever have. We'll get to that later. RANN on X. British men are finally taking a stand against migrant crime, as today the Hibernian Islington tube station migrant punched a man holding a baby, causing the child to fall while British men stepped in. You punch a man with a baby and the baby falls, I'm going to attack you, for the record. So the video shows some very angry British men that did a number on this guy, and I hope it leaves a lasting result. Turkey should obtain nuclear weapons. Most Turks say in a new poll, 71% of respondents believe Turkey should start developing nuclear arms. 72% do not believe NATO would defend Turkey if it were attacked. Meta, Facebook, refuses to sign the EU's AI Act Good Practices guidelines, arguing that the guidelines stifle innovation. Director of Meta's Global Affairs Department, Joel Kaplan, said, Europe is going down a wrong path when it comes to AI. Code conduct introduces a bunch of legal challenges for AI developers, as well as being a gross overreach beyond the scope of the AI Act. Other European companies, ASML, Airbus, refused to sign the guidelines. Only Sam Altman's OpenAI embraced the EU's good practices. I did a video on PrepperNow tonight. You probably didn't get notified. You never will. I'm very proud of it. I think it's some of my better work, to be honest with you. Personal opinion, maybe wrong. But it talks about AI. It talks about a lot of stuff that's going on and what our future may look like. And it kind of was inspired by a conversation I had with a guy I played music last night where we had a gig. He's frightened. He's not a dumb dude. And we just had a great conversation. So I kind of go in and tell you about it. Some of the things that's going on. And for the record, Sam Altman and OpenAI, they have a bunker. They have a bunker if things go south, okay? So you can take with that what you will. I focus also on job loss, engineering, computer science, other things. Tell the story of a lady that basically gave up coding and became a welder. Larry Fink thinks 500,000 electricians are going to be needed. We're going to need data centers. They plan on through the Stargate thing. They're going to be making 20 new power stations and everything. What's that going to look like with our power and everything? I mean, there's a lot going on in the background, and it could be very problematic, like doomsday kind of stuff, or it could be like a new golden age. It's tough to really differentiate. So I basically put it out to the class, So go over there if you haven't seen it. Check the video out, watch, and put in your own input. What do you think is going to happen with all this? Are a bunch of people going to be laid off? We're going to have UBI, or is it going to be like we're living in Star Trek and we're all in tracksuits walking around in a most peaceful time in the history of Earth? I don't know. I, of course, am a prepper, so I default towards the doom. But it's very, very much fascinating and frightening at the same time. Moving on. Thanks for being here at the advanced placement course of prepping, or at least intelligence, open source intelligence, here on the Crisis Report. United States tech workers on X. Last week we showed how the engineering degree, once a solid path to the middle class, is failing new American grads. Looked at the computer science. If you thought engineering grads were struggling, computer science grads are faring even worse. Why? What's this? Yes, we have links here because we back up our work with a full transcript on Substack. Almost to 500 subscribers there. And I am going to start to look at possibly taking this over there as well. Everything in due time. I got so much to do. I'm getting caught up, but every time it's one of those things like with this channel, I'll get something done and then I'll have something else I got to something else will get into my purview, whatever. Carolina Lion, he does good work. So the same financial forces that gutted American manufacturing are now gutting American IT, basically saying, people like Larry Fink and all that went in and said, learn to code, bro. Well, now everybody's learned to code, and they're like, well, AI does that, and you're screwed. So people are like, WTF. So, okay, I'm going to go get a welding degree. Well, in 5 years, you've got Optimus, and he's able to manage a welder and work for 46 hours straight, unlike a human. What do things look like? Just start to ponder it. United States Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, threatened to publicly accuse Israel of discriminating against Christian groups, pointing to a deliberate pattern of denying tourist visas to evangelical missionaries. This is kind of a departure from Mike Huckabee. Interior Minister Moshe Arbel privately responded to Mike Huckabee's observation by denying the discrimination and criticizing him for deviating from working norms and not acting in mutual trust. Basically told him to STFU. Unusually high levels of moisture will continue to pulse over central and eastern states during the next 2 weeks. That's right. I haven't had to water my garden in literally a month. I just basically try to mow my lawn in between rainstorms, and they happen all the time. I'm sure it's totally natural. Absolutely positive. House just voted on an amendment to cut funding for Israeli cooperative programs, and it failed 6 to 422. 6 voted yes, and it's a strange group. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene, Massey of Kentucky, Al Green of Bama, Summer Lee, don't know where she's from, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib. So, strange bedfellows. 5th night of rioting in the city of Limoges, Haute-Vienne department in central France. 150 youths have been clashing with local riot police simply for the fun of it, according to local French medias. There haven't been any arrests or deaths of gang members prior to the outbreak of the violence. Good. I mean, on the one part. Nor is there any public known reason which could have led to this. They're just jacking around for the heck of it. They're just out there rioting for the fun. Great job. You're doing great, France. Saw it live and in person myself. Been in America for over 50 years. I've never seen a burning vehicle. 1 week in France, and I saw 2 of them. Well, technically, I saw one on fire, and I saw another one that was burnt out already and was basically a big metal crisp. And I have pictures if you don't believe me. Youths armed with bats. You're making that up, dude. You're making that up. Youths armed with bats, Molotov cocktails, improvised mortars, threw fireworks to law enforcement, fired at dumpsters, parked vehicles. Witnesses described the rioting as urban guerrilla warfare. 10 police officers were injured during the fighting. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron gearing up for a war with Russia over Ukraine, while his own cities are being torched by the migrants he continues to financially support. Yes. It's a big freaking mess there, folks. Hostage deal negotiation. Hamas is dragging its feet and has refused for several days to discuss the list of terrorists to be released in exchange for the hostages. Last night, a new proposal was presented by the mediators, which has not yet been answered by the parties. Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem, we are ready for a confrontation with Israel. We will not abandon our weapon and our strength. Syrian Church calls for global intervention in Sueda. Greek Orthodox metropolis of Basra and Haran in Syria is urging international community to intervene immediately to stop the bloodshed in Al-Sueda. It's Oz, but it's Al-Sueda. Or Al-Sueda. The church condemns the barbaric war targeting both the elderly and children, calling on the UN for urgent action. This war is killing old and young alike. I call for help from the world. It really is bad, and nobody's talking about it. It really is. I've seen some very, very disgusting things that would make your stomach turn. Jordanian tribes issue a warning: should Israel intervene in Syria directly, there will be an immediate action from the Jordanian tribes. It's getting larger. And Leon is getting larger. What movie? Put it in the chat. Israel is concerned that Bedouin tribes gaining ground in the clashes in southern Syria could lead to a massive influx of Bedouins into the region, destabilizing the security situation not only in southern Syria, but potentially in Jordan as well. There is a fear of a domino effect that could result in the fall of the government in Amman and its takeover by Islamist forces. They are really worried about it. They are really, really worried about it. Hold on real quick. Did I see that right? Hold on. Where did I see that right? Nope. I did not. Sorry. Checking chat. I thought I saw something. Yep, there we go. Okay. Israel is concerned that Bedouin tribes gaining ground in the clashes in southern Syria could lead to a massive influx of Bedouins into the region, destabilizing the security situations in southern Syria, but potentially in Jordan as well. Just covered that. China launched a $167 billion mega dam in Tibet. This is a little deeper. It kind of tells you the implications. People's Republic of China kicked off construction on a colossal $167 billion American dam, or what, 1.2 trillion yuan? Project on Tibet's Yarlung Sangpo River, state media announced Saturday. Initiative spearheaded by China's Yijing Group involves 5 cascade dams in Yangtze, southeastern Tibet, aimed at generating massive hydropower, with most electricity destined for regions beyond Tibet. Billed as one of China's priciest infrastructure ventures ever. Project aligns with Beijing's drive to spur economic growth. However, it's stirring concerns in India as the river flows into disputed Arunachal Pradesh, feeding a vital Indian waterway. China insists downstream areas will remain unaffected, but the move could strain diplomatic ties. Water sources for people that are technically in India. So this could be a little bit of a problem. You guys remember when that dam between India and Pakistan was about to be stopped? Yeah. Stopping people's water is kind of a crime. So, former January 6th prisoner who shared a jail dorm with Ghislaine Maxwell says Maxwell isn't unaliving herself or desiring to unalive herself in the least. Rebranded as a teacher, works in the law library, providing fellow inmates with legal forms advice, and runs her own classes. Well, what a helpful little lady she is. Zelensky says everything must be done to achieve a ceasefire and that Ukraine is ready to meet with Russia next week. Andy Byron, CEO of the tech firm Astronomer, resigned following the viral video showing him embracing a colleague at Coldplay concert. When nothing else compares. Yep, he got busted. Kiss cam. Yeah, there's some great memes out there for that. Check them out. Great memes. What an idiot. Here's an idea, folks. Check this out. Check this out. This is crazy. You know, this is going to blow you away. Don't cheat on your wife. Okay? If you don't like what's going on with your wife, have the guts to go and like say, we need to stop this and do it legally. And then after everything is good, then you go and you know, seek whatever the heck it is you're seeking. I don't know. I don't get, I don't know. I'm happily married, so I love my wife, whatever. Perception management. Many confused over Israeli strikes on U.S. proxies in Syria. Israeli is carrying out a campaign of strikes on targets across Syria, including government buildings, militants linked to the U.S.-backed client regime headed by al-Qaeda, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. What's that? HTS? America, also known as al-Nusra subsidiary. So it went al-Qaeda to al-Nusra to HTS. But don't worry, they're better now. They've reformed. Follows years of Israel itself playing a direct role in the helping of the U.S. install the HTS into power. Following the U.S.-Israeli strike on Iran and Iran's substantial counterstrikes on Israeli military and government facilities inside Israel, fake fronts posing as anti-Israel or anti-U.S. need a serious boost in perceived credibility. Hence these attacks and opportunities for HTS and Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa, HTS head al-Jolani, pose as fighting back. As obvious as this is to some, many others will fall for this and support that the U.S. client regime is being anti-U.S., anti-Israel in the same way many support Hamas and even ISIS al-Qaeda itself. It's a big convoluted mess over there, friends. But I mean, it's people are dying, so that's why it matters. Clashes between Arab Bedouin tribesmen and Druze factions in Syria continue, with the Druze now having retaken most of al-Suwaida city. It's literally gone back and forth. We got it, we don't, we got it, we don't, we got it, we don't, back and forth. Top farmland is being lost to large-scale solar panels. England is losing some of its best farmland to solar panels, with nearly 2/3 of mega solar farms now built on productive agricultural land. New report reveals. Analysis shows that 59% of the country's 38 operational solar developments are situated on farmland. 31% of the total land covered by panels, classed as the best and most versatile for agriculture, grades 1 to 3A. Trump's once again threatened the BRICS members, saying that if the BRICS group ever forms in a meaningful way, it will end very quickly. Singapore is dealing with a serious cyber attack against its critical infrastructure by a highly sophisticated entity linked by industry experts in to China, the country's coordinating minister for national security said. Trump seeks at least $10 billion in a defamatory suit against Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal. United States Environment Agency axed nearly a quarter of its workforce. Mysterious court docket appeared to show that President Trump was filing a libel lawsuit against News Corp on Friday and its chairman emeritus, Rupert Murdoch, but a person close to Trump's legal team told Business Insider that the president has not yet filed this lawsuit over the Wall Street Journal's report, and that this legal complaint is still in the works. Literally, next post and update. Breaking, Donald Trump is seeking at least $10 billion in damages in the lawsuit against News Corp, Rupert Murdoch, others over Wall Street Journal article, according to Reuters. So he's going after him. We shall see. Warren Buffett, legendary investor known as the Sage of Omaha, sent ripples of unease through Wall Street by offloading billions in U.S. bank stocks, prompting analysts and investors to question the sustainability of the sector's recent gains. Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway sold approximately $3.2 billion or 2.4 billion sterling in shares of American banks and financial companies at the start of 2025, including $1 billion stake in Citigroup and over $2 billion in Bank of America, and portions of its holdings in Capital One. What does he know? What does Warren know? We don't know. Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar speech of Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara was a display of support for the jihadist attackers. In al-Shara's words, the Bedouin tribes as a symbol of noble values and principles, and blaming the victims, the Druze minority, who have been attacked. Now, there's been attacks for both, just saying. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm not saying I'm on Team Druze or Team Bedouin. That's why this isn't called Bedouin versus Druze proxies. This is a proxy war that could spiral out of control between Syria and Israel. That's why it matters, why it's important. Who cares what's going on in Syria? Whatever. God. I'm going to watch God get kicked in the nuts on YouTube. Al-Shara spiced all this with conspiracy theories and accusations against Israel. Bottom line, in al-Shara's Syria, it is very dangerous to be a member of a minority, Kurd, Druze, Alawite, or Christian. This has been proven time and time again over the past 6 months. International community has a duty to ensure the security and rights of the minorities in Syria and to condition Syria's renewed acceptance into the family of nations on their protection. I just see a bunch of crap going on and it needs to stop. That's why we cover it here and have for the last week, more so than basically any other story. Druze of Jalal al-Sheikh, Jundal Castle between Damascus and Quneitra, stated that if the confrontation in Soweto does not stop, they will intervene and help the Druze of Soweto to fight the tourists or Bedouins or HTS or whatever militias are going there, whatever. It's a big mess. Brazilian President Lula da Silva was hospitalized after feeling unwell. This comes amid tense and escalating measures by the United States against members of the regime involving censorship, opposition, persecution, and trade. No details were given about what exactly took the president to the hospital. We don't know. But Lula went there. Some are saying that Trump is he's giving him the vapors. So I don't know. Intensity of the offensive by the Russian armed forces made it possible in June to liberate the largest area of territories, since the beginning of 2025, New York Times stated. So, Russian armed forces are making major advances. Syria is devolving to where it might be a bit of a war between, I don't know, Israel and Syria. Taiwan, it's just got through very large war games, and Japan has basically said, hey, when and if Taiwan gets taken by China, we can't help you. Tibet is having a major river blocked, one of the largest infrastructure deals ever, and possibly cutting off water to Indian territories downstream. But hey, everything is just hunky-dory. Nothing ever happens. And yeah. Yeah, double tap the screen, please. That does. Thank you very much. Double tap the screen. Give it a like. It's the way to do it. Thank you. By the way, I've saved this little nugget I've got here for you all. I've already been 48 minutes in, and I'm sure this person is here. You guys have probably, I've got things that I get mad at. I get mad at the platform, whatever. Like I told Hudson Valley, the you can't beat them, but you can outlast them. So never give up. Anyway, I have had a dedicated downvoter for many, many years. As soon as something goes up, whether it's Rumble, it's PrepperNow, wherever, downvote happens automatically. And I thought it was Eric Torres. Remember him? I really did. I always thought it was, it's just Eric or whatever, whatever. Still engagement, it's all good. I'm navigating YouTube 4 or 5 days ago, and I get into this area of comments that are put aside, and you don't regularly get to see them. I didn't even know this place existed. Shows you how tech savvy I am, but it's there. And I go over there, and there is another channel. I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to give you any idea who they are. This guy, like, for about every 2 weeks, he calls me a fake prepper. He says I'm a hoarder. He says all kinds of nasty stuff. Not nasty, but like stuff. He doesn't like pinball or bear. I'm telling my wife about this. I'm like showing like pictures of Grindstone Ministries helping disaster victims. I tell her how pinball is, arranged a bunch of money on his channel to help with funeral services for the people in Texas. These are good people. Okay. I've talked to Pinball numerous times. I've never talked to Bear, but I know his heart's in the right place. I've talked to Magic. Actually, we had a good conversation yesterday. For a while, we're emailing back and forth. I'm actually taking one of his courses. But people are going to do this. But like this guy, he says I'm a fake prepper. And prepper, I personally think, is a very loose term. I don't think it's good to kind of quantify or qualify someone as this. And as I said to Magic Prepper yesterday, I said, in the ultimate end of things, guys, to Magic, I said 98.2% of all this stuff isn't going to really affect us. It's not going to really be, a big doom loop or anything like that. Something, though, will come out of left field, like, say, Rona or a major power outage or whatever, and it will affect you. And having preps is a smart thing to do. So prepper channels and channels like mine exist to hopefully inspire people and tell them of things that might happen, hopefully not, so they can be ready in that 1 in 100 chance that something goes south. And I'm sure every single one of you can tell me a time in your life where something came out of nowhere and it rocked your world. Now, this person, he uses the term prepper loosely. I could use the term stalker loosely and accuse him of that. My initial thing was like, let me have this guy on and let me destroy debate him. And I have already a litany of things that I could do that would just absolutely make him really want to find me and do me in. And I started to think about that. And I started, man, this guy, these people that are like this, and there's been stalkers, there's been people, Prepper Princess had a guy that was stalking him, other people have had it. And I'm anonymous on here for a reason. I've got, my little boy just turned 7. I don't want to affect this to my family. I'm here late at night, 1:10 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time, because I don't want this to affect my family. My family comes first. And I do all this because I make enough coin on here that I can actually put my kids in a Christian school. So I'm excited about that. The point I'm trying to make here is don't take any of this stuff too seriously. Make sure that you can handle the basics. The term prepper and the term like survivalist and preparedness and all that is loose. And one of the main points I would make to my quasi-stalker is that, when you make people that are new to preparedness feel like they're lesser or they are not worthy or they're not doing enough or they don't know what the heck they're doing, you kind of hurt us all, You kind of hurt us all. I've told the story many times. Had I not in September of 2012 said, you know what, I've got a 9-month-old baby right now. I should probably get a generator just in case the power goes out. Had I not done that, I would not have made it through Hurricane Sandy and saved probably about, at that time, $500 or $600 of the food. If it's now, it'd probably be about $1,500. I'm never going to speak to this person. I'm never going to engage him. I'm not going to tell you who he is. Like, I didn't even know he existed until 5 days ago. I will say this: add value. Don't judge. And if there's a channel you like or there's a channel you don't like, man, do what I do. Go away. You know. And there's people that have gone away from this channel because they probably don't like what I've done or turned into or whatever. Okay, that's fair. But it's important for people to add value. It's important for us to lift each other up. It's important to look the other way if there's things we don't like and to move on. I think David Pakman, who's got a huge channel on YouTube, is a bit of a bonehead. And guess what? I don't watch his channel. So I didn't want to do this on PrepperNow because that's what he calls out or whatever. But I like pre-blocked him on everything. I didn't even know who he was, and I blocked him on all kinds of stuff because like I'm a little bit. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a little bit scared. There's a little too much PrepperNow taking up head in his space or space in his head. Ugh. And I don't know why. Like, I mean, I don't think I'm the best prepper ever. I just make videos. I want to tell you guys what's going on Crisis Report. That's why I sit here and get snarky and everything that. This channel, I don't care where it really goes. It's just a news channel, and I'm going to probably be taking it to other venues here if the crap treatment keeps going. PrepperNow is doing well, honestly. Sponsorship deals and over almost 52,000 subscribers and all that, and that's because of you guys. It's because you guys have helped me. I've worked hard, don't get me wrong, but without all of you, it would be nothing. It'd be just a voice in the wind. And I get a lot of catharsis out of this. I love to read the comments. I love to engage you guys. It is what it is. So never feel like you're less. Never feel like, someone comes along and says, well, you're not a prepper. You're not good enough. Or, oh, God, you can't, fix small engine repair, or you can't do this or whatever. Don't listen to that and just keep doing whatever you can on whatever you can. Like Eric Johnson says, it's freaking common sense. I've raised a family for 40 years on a shoestring budget. God bless you, man. That's what it's about. It's about adding value. So I don't know. I was kind of taken aback when I started to like see this and figure it out. I was like, holy crap. Holy crap. Look at this guy. This dude. There's some problems going on, So honestly, I've already like twice now I've prayed for him. I'm like, God, please, like, let this guy kind of get it together, or at least calm down. Like this is a little too much, really. So if you get a moment, I thought about it. I've mentioned it on Rumble and stuff, my downvoter and all that. I'm not going to really be talking about him anymore after this. And that's kind of why I'm saying this right now. I believe after being in AA that you talk about stuff and then it grows in the dark and it dies in the light. So to Eric L. Toros, I apologize. I thought you were my dedicated downvoter. I don't think you are anymore. To the person I am referencing, I hope that your life goes well and your good fortune falls on your shoulders, and I'll be praying for you, and I hope that you can somehow at some point kind of see past whatever it is that I do to spark your anger and hopefully move on with your life and go do things that fulfill you. So downvoting and all that, you know what? Honestly, folks, it helps. It's engagement, so keep talking and keep chatting and keep doing the things. This platform is going to do what this platform is, besides them, messing with views, and all the other channels are already talking about it. It is, Magic Prepper said he's probably not even going to live stream anymore. So let YouTube shoot itself in the foot, and do whatever. Things like Substack are coming, things like Kick are coming. It's all going to work out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to do this probably for the rest of my life. So I enjoy it too much. I've got a nice, solid community started, and I'm going to build it until probably the day I die. So hopefully you'll stick with me till then. And if not, well, I wish you luck and I thank you for being with me for a little short period of time. So there's your editorial for all this. God bless you all, friends. I really, really appreciate you. I'm obsessed with the whoosh too, Atomic Rogue. I don't know if it was you who said it, but someone said a few days ago, oh man, I come for the whoosh and I stay for the intel or stay for the doom. I stay for the doom. Man, please tell me that was you. That was the freaking funniest thing I've read. I read some funny comments. That was one of the most favorite comments I've read in a long time. And like that right there, that's a little snapshot to why I absolutely love doing this. Okay. So I agree, Lisa. That's why I'm just going to let it die and just accept, that some people agree, some don't. You move on. So, all right, friends. You got to understand too, like Erikel, let me end on this. Erikel used to like email me nasty stuff. So that's why I thought it was him. I would get emails like nasty stuff, like saying really evil, nasty crap about my wife. Okay. You don't do that. So like I thought it was him. But this guy came out of left field. So come for the bush, stay for the doom. Oh my God. It won't, Julianne. It won't. It won't. It won't. There's no way. Whoever programmed this channel and put it in the algorithm, or maybe the algorithm itself, has put this thing on the lowest credit score, social credit score possible. You will not see it, but I'll tell you what, from my cold, dead, friggin' fingers, I'll keep going. There's enough platforms out there. I might have to take it elsewhere, but I'm never going to stop, and I think you all know that. So, God bless, friends. We'll see you on the next one. Oh, by the way, if I may, this message has been brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. Okay, if you're into that IRA and everything, gold and silver, check out the link in the description. I have my affiliate page, and I'll be doing a video on the Mega One solar generator here. I'll be filming it tomorrow, editing it, and hopefully I'll have it out by tomorrow night. God bless, friends.